This video is brought to you by HockeyMonkey.com, your one-stop shop for the best prices on all the latest and greatest hockey gear. Be sure to use coupon code HR4U7 at checkout to receive 7% off any order. Hey guys, Josh from HockeyReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review of the Warrior Krown 360 hockey helmet. Now this is not the newest helmet currently on offer from Warrior, but with that being said, it is an absolutely fantastic value at this point in time. This helmet used to retail for $170 US, but you can pick it up right now on sale for $90 through the link down below in the description, and actually get it for cheaper than that with the exclusive HR4U7 coupon code. Now this is a helmet that I've been using for the last month or so, and I have to say I've been very impressed by how comfortable it is. I like how it looks, and it also has one of the best adjustment features that I've personally ever experienced on a hockey helmet. So with that being said, let's get right into the review. First things first, let's talk about the design of the helmet itself. Now from a visual standpoint, I actually quite like the look of this helmet. It has some interesting lines flowing throughout, as you guys can see, but for the most part it still maintains a fairly round aesthetic. So for that reason, it does look modern, but it isn't overly flashy, which is something that I personally like to have in a helmet. Now from a branding standpoint, you can see you have your Warrior branding right there on the front, which again isn't overly flashy, and you're going to find some Warrior branding in chrome on either side of the helmet. In terms of ventilation, there's plenty of it with the Krown 360. You're going to find an open port right above the Warrior logo directly in the middle of your forehead. Two open vents on either side of the front part of the helmet, as you can see. Moving down to the side, you can see there are 3 more open ports right there. On top of the helmet, you're going to find, again, open ventilation, so again, lots of airflow there. And then on the back, you're going to find 2 little small ports right there at the back of your neck. Now, as far as the shell itself goes, it's not a one-piece shell. In fact, there are 4 pieces that make up this particular design, and it has to do with fit, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But just to show you guys what the 4 pieces are, you're going to find a front shell right here, which makes up the forehead, the top of the head, as well as the side area of the helmet. You're going to find a back plate, which makes up the back of the helmet, as well as the majority of the top of the head. And then you're going to find 2 plates that make up the 2 back portions of the helmet, the one on the left and then the one on the right. So definitely a very interesting shell design, but it works with the overall fit system, which is one of the best that I've ever experienced with any helmet, period. When it comes to fit and adjustability, I can't say that I've ever worn a helmet that fits quite as well as the Warrior Krown 360, and this has everything to do with the 4-play adjustment system. Now the 4-play adjustment system is made up of 4 different pieces to the shell itself, like I mentioned, and each one of these pieces actually has the ability to expand and contract, allowing for a true 360-degree fit. Now the way that this works is that at the bottom of the helmet you have one single dial. You can see you turn it one way to close the helmet, you turn it another way to open it. Now basically when you start turning this dial, what I like to do is you make the helmet as big as it can possibly get, you put it on your head, and you start turning the dial and closing the helmet in on your head itself. Now you're going to feel it all the way around your head closing in, and once you've gotten it to a point where you feel like the helmet fits you nice and snug and it's still very, very comfortable, the helmet is fully adjusted. You don't have to do anything else. There are no exposed clips or snap-in pieces on the outside of the helmet, and for the most part it isn't going to readjust itself. It's going to maintain its shape and, like I said, offer a true 360-degree fit. So not only is this helmet going to expand and contract lengthwise, it's also going to expand and contract widthwise. So like I said, it closes in on your head and makes for more of a custom feel than I've experienced from any other hockey helmet. So again, if you're one of those people that has a lot of issues fitting into most hockey helmets, this is definitely something to consider, because like I said, it really does adjust in every single direction, which again, very, very unique design. One thing that I found to be a little bit surprising about this particular design is that while the helmet is locked in place size-wise once you've adjusted the dial, there is still a little bit of play in these little side pieces on the helmet. Now while this doesn't necessarily impact the overall protection, you still get that plastic shell and you still get the foam on the inside that is fit as close to your head as it can possibly be. It's just something that I found to be a little bit not necessarily cheap, but surprising in that there was so much play in this little piece here. But again, not something that really bothered me while wearing the helmet, and it isn't necessarily anything that's going to compromise the overall protection either. Another thing to mention is, of course, the sizing. I wore my usual size medium for the helmet itself, and I found that it fit me very, very well. Another thing to note is that because of the foreplay adjustment system, you can get a lot bigger of a size range from this particular helmet than a standard medium helmet I found, just because it really does expand a lot and it really does contract a lot. So for the most part, stay true to size, and trust me when I say you will be able to get a really high quality fit from the Warrior Krown 360. In terms of actual protective elements, there isn't anything overly complex with the Warrior Krown 360 design. You can see that on the inside, the helmet is lined entirely in an EPP foam. That's your high density foam that's going to protect you against the majority of the really big impacts. And then of course on the inside, you're going to find your soft memory foam pads that are strategically positioned to, of course, allow for a very, very comfortable feel. And you definitely get that from this helmet. There's no issues with comfort whatsoever. The one unique feature or one unique material you're going to find in this helmet is, of course, the use of what Warrior calls impacts foam in the back area of your neck, as well as on either side of the helmet. Now, this is basically a high density memory foam is how I would describe it, and it's ever so slightly softer than the EPP foam. And again, it's in those kind of key impact areas at the back as well as on the side of your head, where perhaps having something a little bit more forgiving is going to be better for you in the long run should you take a really hard impact in that particular area of your head. So for the most part, the overall comfort is great. You have all the protective features that you would expect from a high-end helmet. Nothing that is particularly fancy. But again, what I think a lot of people don't realize when it comes to actual helmet safety is that none of them are concussion proof, of course, but what's most important is how the helmet fits you. And if it fits you really well, it's most likely going to be more protective for you. And that's what every single company agrees on, regardless of the technologies that they implement. And again, the foreplay adjustment system of the Warrior Krown 360, if you're one of those people that has a hard time getting a nice, high quality, snug fit from your helmet, this is definitely something to consider, because the better your helmet fits, the safer it's going to be. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Warrior Krown 360 helmet. This is not necessarily the most fancy helmet when it comes to actual protective elements. It's a pretty standard EPP foam with your comfort pads, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but what makes this helmet special is how it fits. And if you're one of those people that struggles to find a helmet that fits you really well, this is definitely a product to consider, because this foreplay fit system really does do its part as far as providing a nice 360-degree secure feel on your head. And considering the price you can pick these up at, below the $90 price tag, that's pretty good. Considering that this was once, like I mentioned, $170. And again, if you're interested in picking up one of these for yourself, you can find a buy it now link down below in the description. If you have any questions regarding this helmet, feel free to leave a comment down below. And also, if you have any suggestions for products you'd like to see reviewed on the channel, again, leave a comment. I'm always open to hearing what you guys want to see. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for more reviews on all the latest and greatest hockey gear. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.